This video is going to go out to both Tektontv and Synth Controversy. And obviously my communication skills in my last video were rather poor, so I'm going to try to correct this as much as possible. Now, how did I even know about Tektontv? This is going to be really important because UK Christian 28 was trying to comment on his videos about a year ago. And I happened to see those comments, and that's how I found out about Tektontv. Otherwise, I wouldn't know anything about him. Now then, I think Tektontv started out... First of all, he's a brilliant guy. I'll give you that. And I think he started out by trying to attack atheists that were trying to shut down our churches. These are the kind of atheists that will stand there. They try to take away our holidays. They try to get our manger scenes out of public squares, this kind of thing, yada, 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 yada. And I think he was trying to shut them down, which I think is a good thing. That's an admirable thing. But he seems to be going out of control on this. And bear with me, I have an electric blanket down here, and, well, never mind. Point is, Tektontv has been attacking just about every atheist in town. Now, here comes Synth Controversy, and I'm sorry I got you a little confused with Tektontv. And you were disagreeing with his methods of knocking these people down. If these were ordinary atheists, I could understand that. But these are atheists that are trying to shut down Christianity forever. That's why I tend to say, okay, there is a valid reason for Tektontv. Now then, here's the thing. Let's picture in your mind that Tektontv and Synth Controversy are sitting at a table. They're bantering against each other because of all this atheist stuff. And all of a sudden, I come in and I ring a firehouse bell. Ding, 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 ding. And I tell you that we have a more serious situation going on here. We have Christians that are facing eviction, starvation, and bullying in school. And I think that's more important to deal with than this. Okay. What I expect from both of you is for you to get up and start dealing with the even worse situation. Let me tell you something, Tektontv. If you keep bantering against all these atheists, to a certain point, well, after a while, there won't be a Christian left to defend, because they'll all be starved to death, burned to death if they're in the desert, frozen to death if they're in the north. There's not going to be one left. What's that going to... Oh, you won the war! But for who? Just yourself? Please. Anyway, so what was my point about the websites? Okay, here's the thing. Let's go back to preschool terms. If you cannot fill an application out on the internet, you can't operate computer-assisted ordering. You can't operate computer manufacturing. You can't even operate the kitchen equipment in the restaurants because it's all electronic now. That's why they do that. To see if you can operate any kind of technology. If you can't, they're not going to hire you. That's simple. So, that's why I said what I said. What I want you people to do, if you can offer this kind of training, do it. If you can't, find people who can and support them. Alright? Now, what about the prayer thing? Well, that comes from my experiences with bullying. When I was a kid, I got bullied pretty bad in school. Really bad, actually. And what was the church's first response? Pray and it'll all go away. It didn't go away. It got worse. Hence the chip on my shoulder. Now then, let's fast forward to today. What's the church's response? Well, not all churches respond the same way, thank heavens, because there are a few smart ones out there. But the majority of the churches say, we'll help you fill out resumes, and then you pray and it'll all go away. It's not going to work that way. Now, the thing is, they'll say, well, okay, why don't we help you fill out loan applications so that you can get a loan to go to school, then you get your skills, and then you can go get a job. Okay, here's the stupidity on that. We're trying to help people get into debt. We're supposed to be Christians. We're supposed to help people get out of debt, not get into it. That's absolutely backwards. See what I mean? So, it's this kind of thing that I'm trying to deal with. So, that's where all this comes from. And hopefully you're getting the point here. The point is, I'm trying to make sure these people can actually get jobs so that they can get out of debt and we can function, and then we can function as a real church for a change, and then we'll deal with these atheists that are trying to shut down our churches, etc., etc., and you get the point. Now, what about the ignorance of Christians? I have personally talked to Christians that think things like this. You say, you mean to tell me you've actually talked to people that are that stupid? Yes, I actually have. That's the part where I was saying your jaw would drop if you ever heard this. Get the picture? So, it is from my personal experience that I can say things like this. Since neither Tektontv nor Synth Controversy is going to make this test, I'm going to go ahead and make the 15-question test. I'll put it on YouTube to wake everybody up, especially Tektontv. He needs a big wake-up call. Especially after he writes this. He says, spare me the drivel, spare me the drivel. I love this. You goofed. I did not goof. You goofed. And now you're making excuses. I'm not making a single excuse. In the process, you keep goofing up. No, you're the one who keeps goofing up. For example, this is what I said to Tektontv. I said, so you run a website for 15 years. That's news to me, and it is news to me. It's also news to my friends, and it's news to just about every one of my YouTube users. And I know there are thousands, perhaps millions of people in the world today that don't know your website exists, and that's true. And how are we supposed to find something we don't know exists? That's also true. And the guy replies back, he says, do you know who Lee Strobel is? Well, Synth Controversy, do you know who Lee Strobel is? I doubt you've ever heard of him. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But I can tell you what, my friends never have, and neither have I. And Tektontv calls me little man. You know, he has no right to call me little man of any kind. He says, probably not, since you live in a hole. No, actually, Tektontv, you live in a hole, and I'm going to get you out of it. Okay? Well, he writes books to sell in the millions. Really? Okay, then that's news to me. It's news to my friends. And it's news to thousands of people that will now know who Lee Strobel is. Okay? And he recommended my website as a resource of one of those books. In one of those books, that means we have to read all of Lee Strobel's books just to find the one that actually recommends your website? Yeah, there's stupidity there. Okay? Don't know about that? Well, that's your fault for being ignorant. No, the ignorant one is you to actually say that we have to read all of Lee Strobel's books to find this particular website. There you go. Why don't you get out more and read some books so you can be more aware? I read lots of books. It's you that doesn't seem to read a lot of books, okay? And you don't actually interact with hardly any people, so there you go. In case you're especially dense, which you Tektontv are especially dense, not I. That's what you sound like. No, actually, that's what you sound like, okay? This all goes back to you. It's like a tennis game. I'm throwing it back into your court. You might want to contact Lee Strobel because you might want to tell him that he's not any more well-known than you are. Okay. Someone ought to evict you from the public square for thinking you're egomaniacal obsessions. Egomaniacal obsessions. I love this kind of vocabulary. It just blows my mind. Oh, and I should be evicted from... No, you should be evicted from the public square for being so ignorant about all this. Okay? Okay. These egomaniacal obsessions ought to be everyone's concern. It should be everyone's concern because that many people are starving to death and facing eviction, so there you go. And then he tells me not to bother him again. Well, you know what? You're being bothered, and you're going to continue being bothered until you get out of your little hole and you go hundreds of miles away. Go to an average... Go to some Joe Blow city you've never been to in your entire life. Someplace where nobody knows you and you don't know them. And ask the average Joe who Lee Strobel is and ask them if they've never heard of you. your jaw is going to drop real quick. There's my answer. So, now let me take a look at my notes here just to make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay. So the next thing is just basically synth controversy. Let the churches know I'm out there. I can help these people. I can actually put them back into decent jobs. They just need to watch my educational videos and they'll be put back into decent work. And if you want to watch them yourself, you're more than welcome. I don't have any problems you being friends with regular atheists, but when you have an atheist that's trying to destroy your religion, that could be a big problem. But we'll deal with that big problem later on when we deal with the much bigger problem of getting these Christians to not face eviction, starvation, or being shot up in school all the time. So my big point was, don't banter with Tektontv or anybody else at this point. Let's just focus on getting our Christians out of these horrid situations, and then we'll deal with whatever atheists we have to deal with, and maybe we can find a more constructive way to deal with them. There you go. Whew. Wow. I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. So, I do apologize again for getting you confused with Tektontv. Obviously, this guy's in a hole and he needs to get in the real world. Alright. If you have any responses, you're more than welcome to leave them down here below. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.